conditions of living improve, and you can benefit from all that this government has to offer. So I look forward in talking to you as the day progresses. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Honorable Minister. Thank you very much for that wealth of information that you've just provided to us. It's well noted. So we're going to pass to the next speaker, Mr. Honorable Anil Nandalal.
Thank you, Comrade Acting President, and my colleague, ministers, government officials, brothers and sisters. Firstly, permit me to extend emancipation greeting to all of you. Monday we will be celebrating Emancipation Day activities right across Guyana. Our government practices a style of governance where we connect intimately to the people of our country. Our policies and our developmental plans are not hatched in Georgetown in air-conditioned offices. They are conceived, they are designed, and they are constructed based upon our interactions with you, the people of our country, and based upon your needs and your exigencies. And that is why all year round we engage in community meetings of this type. You see how many ministers are here? We have done this in almost every region across Guyana from August 2020 to now, more than 2 or 3 times. And we are here on the east coast of Demerara in the community of Melanie to execute that approach. Budget circulars have already been issued by the Ministry of Finance, informing the relevant permanent secretaries that they must start work to prepare the 2023 budget. And therefore, this engagement will have a bearing in what goes into next year's budget based upon our discussions with you. And that is the type of governance that we practice right across the length and breadth of Guyana. Now, Easter Sunday, I was here in Melanie and met with some of you at the shopping plaza area, and you requested an engagement of this type. You highlighted to me some issues that you would like to be addressed immediately, including the state of this very facility where we are meeting. You also sent a message to me about a week ago complaining about the quality of water that you are receiving, that it's heavily leaded and it's affecting your pipes and blocking your water tanks. My colleague, the Minister with responsibility for water, is here. So this engagement, I hope, is going to be very fruitful and productive because of the wide array of ministers who are present here with us. Frank Anthony spoke about the developments taking place in the medical sector. And those developments, they transcend all sectors of our country. Sometimes I hear the argument being advanced how you, the people, will benefit from the major investments that we are speaking about in our country. But you are the basis for those investments. You are the primary beneficiaries of those investments. Great countries of the world that you look at, how you think they were built? They were built with investments. They were built with the type of hotels that we are putting down in Guyana. They were built by the infrastructural projects that are taking place right across the length and breadth of Guyana. The other day, and many of them are taking place right here on the East Coast corridor. So the President and Minister Waldron attended the turning of a sod for a hotel by the convention center right here on the East Coast of Demerara. 350 rooms hotel, a heliport on top, several restaurants, several conference facilities, recreational facilities, bars, etc. That's just one establishment. Can you imagine how many jobs that one establishment will create when it becomes operational? Just think, even before it becomes operational, how many jobs will be created while in the construction stage. When we turned the sod, the investor said they already put 600 truckloads of sand. Just for the transportation of 600 truckloads of sand. Can you imagine how many truck drivers got jobs? How many porters got jobs? How many sandpit operators got business? And that's just a drop sand. Then they will start to dig the foundation. Then they will have to pour concrete. And the building starts like that. Building supplies will have to be purchased. Taxes have to be paid, VAT, customs duty, etc. Who will benefit from all of this that is taking place in the country, if not you? And that is why my colleague Sonia Parag is tasked with the responsibility of a gold scholarship program to accelerate Guyanese to matriculate qualification and training. And that's why that program is designed not only to target young people, but every stage of life and every area of activities, not necessarily academic pursuits, but extra academic pursuits. I always say, as I said to the people at Plaisance when I spoke with them, Plaisance line top, you're going to get the best cook-up rice, the best black pudding, the best fried shark, the best sauce on a Thursday night. But you know what? Not people who cooking there got kagaj. They don't have qualifications. If we are building all these hotels, they will need cooks. They will need electricians. They will need maintenance crews. Now you will have to provide those services. And if we want international standards, and these are international institutions, then you have to be certified in the areas before you are employed. And that is why we passed the local content law to ensure that foreigners do not come here and take our jobs. We are the only country in the Caribbean that has a law like that. And that is why many of them are arguing that they will take us to the Caribbean Court of Justice for violating the CSME arrangement. But we say to them that Guyanese must benefit first from the patrimony of their country, and we have no apologies for that. But we also have to be reasonable, and that is why the law says, the very act says, that only if the skill is unavailable in Guyana, then we can hire foreigners. Hence the need to ensure that you are trained in the skills, or else we will not be able to stop the people from hiring the foreigners. Because the industry must proceed. That industry is what will transform Guyana and transform all of our lives. And that is why I always remark that our generation of Guyanese, are the most fortunate of every generation ever lived. Because what our foreparents slaved for, what they died and struggled for, but never achieved, we have that great opportunity of realizing it. And that is why we, as a government, we can't, and you as a people can't be fighting with each other. Whenever we have to expend time parting fight among ourselves, others are coming in and taking advantage of these kind of cleavages that we are creating among ourselves, which are completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary. Rather than expend energy fighting between and among ourselves, let us expend that energy in uniting to realize the common benefits of our country. And we have a lot to benefit from. And you have a government that is committed to delivering the goods and services that you deserve. And that is why, whether you are on board or off board, the train of Guyana is moving forward on a developmental agenda at great pace. It's either you are part of it, or if you want to be left out, well, what can we do? We are here explaining every single day that you are an important part of this equation. And the East Coast has been earmarked, as Dr. Anthony said to you, for tremendous transformational development, both infrastructurally and in terms of job creation. A huge, perhaps the largest industrial park in the Caribbean will soon be constructed along the east coast of Demerara, beginning right here at the back of this village, stretching all the way to and more and beyond, using up the cane lands that are now available. It is that industrial park that is expected to provide the infrastructure, the technical support to the oil and gas industry once it becomes fully functional and blossoming. And it's right here, the people of the East Coast, who we will have to be employed. Over 4,000 to 5,000 jobs are expected to be created from that one establishment. And you have to build it out. We have to build it out. Again, job creation begins from the beginning of the project. And there's only one, Ogle. A host of infrastructural, huge commercial developments will take place around the Ogle Airport, right here on the east coast of Demerara. We are also cognizant of the fact that many persons from the East Coast have had to migrate to other areas because we don't have enough house lots here. And that is why the housing program has returned to the East Coast of Demerara. And there are many housing projects taking place south of the railway embankment along the East Coast corridors, because we also want to keep our people on the East Coast. We also have a professional middle class housing scheme that will start soon. At LBI, the infrastructural work has begun already, so that we want to keep professionals right here on the east coast of Demerara. Comrades, we are explaining all these things to you. We are here to meet with you because we want you on board. We want all Guyana on board. And that is why at the level of His Excellency the President, almost every time he speaks of a one Guyana platform. This is the point and time in our history where we cannot afford to appear divided. You hear they're taking us to the Caribbean Court of Justice. You know who taking us there? Our Caribbean brothers and sisters. If we lose our eye off the ball, Venezuela wants 2/3 of Guyana. We are on the World Court. 2/3 of Guyana. Although we settled our dispute with Suriname, they are acting up and making irresponsible statements in and out of their parliament about the new river triangle. We have to deal with that. I say all of these things to you to tell you that the world is looking at Guyana. Guyana is a coveted prize. And you are here and you're fighting with each other. Everybody fighting for Guyana. And you fighting with Guyana and among ourselves. It makes no sense. This is the wrong time. And anyone who tell you about discord and division, they are your enemies. They are not your friends. They are not your leaders. Because what do they have to offer you? They're telling you fight. What do they have to offer you? When you end up with the lockups, you end up with problems. Any one of them come to help you? No. But they are there to encourage you to do that which is not right. But I know that you are intelligent and you appreciate the advances that are being made. So I hope, comrades and friends, that you will use this opportunity to ventilate important issues and raise constructive criticisms so that we can address the issues that are confronting you and we would have achieved a successful engagement. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your kind, wise words. At this point in time, I'm going to hand you guys over to the Honorable Prime Minister, who's acting in the capacity of President. This initiative is his idea, it's his work child. This is something that he started out of one common interest as to see the betterment of the communities of Guyana. So I'm going to hand you over to the Honorable Prime Minister.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. Please be seated. Colleague ministers, Chair of the NDC, citizens, all of Melanie, Namishano. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Emancipation. Happy Emancipation. I saw we have a protester and one of our placards, if she's there, she could bring it and show it to us. She said, history cannot be removed. One of the placards. Guyana was built on the backs of African slaves. Right? You can bring her. Let the police bring her in. Once she can remain quiet, she could come in. Let her come in. She's a Guyanese. She's probably from Melanie too. But she wants to have her placard. Let her come in. Oh boy. I was just respecting her rights, okay? But there's an important statement that is on a placard. You know, Guyana was built on the backs of African slaves. Okay? Very important. Happy emancipation. The slaves were emancipated. And you know what happened immediately after emancipation? The freed men who yesterday or the day before were slaves, they started the village movement. You heard about the village movement? Anybody heard about the village movement? It was started by the freed men and women. Right? And that village movement until today remains as an example as to what people who were once in bondage can do when they are free. Ladies and gentlemen, the village movement led to the development of Guyana. So give yourself a round of applause. After indentureship, the village movement continued. Okay? And the East Indians who came as indentured laborers, they became part of the village movement. And we had, and still today have in Guyana, villages that have all the people of Guyana in one area living and developing that area into communities. Give yourself a round of applause. What is happening today and why we're here today is to have with you a report of that village movement, that collective spirit of development. That is what we want to be the outcome of this activity here with you today. Are we all on board? Are we all on board? You heard Dr. Frank Anthony talk about health and some other matters. You heard the Attorney General, Honorable Mr. Nandalal, talk about a number of development activities. But the bottom line is, as both gentlemen mentioned, we cannot have development unless we as a government is involved and connected with you, the people. And that's why we're here today. We're here today to listen to you, the people. I made a commitment some time back when I went to Buxton with the same team. And we said, we'll go to every village. As long as we are invited, we go to every village. And our message is one of development. Ladies and gentlemen, we had an electoral process and we need to talk less about it. What is important is that coming out of the March 2020 elections, we formed the government. Okay? It was a free and fair elections. We had issues, but at the end of it all, we won the elections and we were allowed to form the government. A round of applause to that. In our democratic system, the party winning the election forms the government and has the mandate. Very important word. The mandate to lead the country for 5 years. And what we are doing, we are leading the development of Guyana from 2020 to 2025. And there are many projects and programs that we have designed and will be implemented throughout Guyana, in every community. And that's why we have the concept of one Guyana. What we're saying to you is no village, no community, no individual will be left out of our development plans for Guyana. We're coming to you in your communities to listen to you and to communicate with you as to all the development plans we have for Guyana. We know you have a number of issues. We know you want to share all your concerns with us, and that's why we're here today. When we were at Buxton, there are some citizens of Melanie who asked, when are we coming to Melanie? And then afterwards, Minister McCoy and Minister Waldron had a business session, right, at Tipperary Hall. And again, they were questioned, when are you coming to Melanie? And based on the feedback, myself and my colleagues decided that we must come to Melanie. And we're happy that we're here in Melanie before Emancipation Day. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of Melanie, this is not a cosmetic exercise. As Mr. Landal mentioned, we have the circular to prepare our budgets. All sectors will start preparing their budgets for 2023. And this is a timely meeting because the issues that you raise here and the issues that were raised in Buxton and will be raised in future outreach will be included in our budget for 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, we struggle over the years with bringing development to all the communities of Guyana. We now have a commodity called oil and gas that will bring in a lot of revenues that we never had before. And as a government, we've decided that we will utilize that revenue as a priority to bring improvement to the lives of all the people of Guyana in their communities. I have coined the term accelerated development. So we had development, yes, but it was going based on revenue at a slow pace. But now we have more revenue, and as a government, our priority is to improve the lives and livelihood of the people of Guyana in an accelerated manner. And that's why I said accelerated development to all the people of Guyana. This is not about building roads and building hospitals and building bridges and wharves and big hotels only. A lot of the money will be used for the development of the human capital of Guyana. I want that to sink in. You heard about the gold scholarship? Anybody can apply and study from wherever you are to improve yourself so you could be a better employee, or you can use the newfound knowledge to open a business and be a businessman and see your business grow from small, medium to a very big business. Eventually, who knows, you can be a business magnate in the sense that when your business grow, you don't only stay and continue with your business in Guyana, you could expand your business to the Caribbean and to other countries. Okay? You know, when we were at Buxton, a lady came to me and said, look, my daughter's in third year at the University of Guyana, but we're having difficulties, financial difficulties to keep her in school, etc. I said, but you know, only this week in the newspapers, the Public Service Ministry advertised a whole list of scholarships that anybody could apply for. And I share my experience with her that I knew of a third year student who applied and got a scholarship to finish the degree program. And I asked her, if you cannot do it, just tell your daughter to go online, fill in the form, and she can get a scholarship. So from September, she will have a scholarship to finish her university studies. And I'm using this example to say to you that there are many opportunities for self-development, for education that is available. And we have a set of people who just complain, but they're not grasping at those opportunities. And I ask you, just so you could go online and you could communicate on social media. All this information is online on social media about the scholarships, gold, University of Guyana, and all the other opportunities, business development available to the people of Guyana. And I ask that you take the opportunity, search for these programs, and grasp the opportunities. Because we can have all the best roads, the best hospitals, the best hotels, and if we don't have a people who are educated and continue to educate themselves, what will we have? Thousands of foreign workers to keep the economy rolling. But we want Guyanese to be the leaders in keeping our economy rolling. I received all my education without my parents having to pay from the successive governments of Guyana. And we as a government is daily providing opportunities for all Guyanese to be educated. It doesn't matter if you're 80, you want to do a degree. There's a scholarship for you. You could go and do your degree. Right? some of the older people are pursuing academic education, right? And I impress upon you, pursue it, but get your children and grandchildren involved. You know, a very important principle for the Africans, especially in post-emancipation, was education. We linked education to freedom. Didn't we? Did we link education to freedom? Right? And the principle that followed that, we all agree and work towards the next generation being better educated than the previous generation. Can you remember that? Can you remember that? Many of us, our grandparents, were unable to read and write, but they ensure that we went to school every day and we taking our education and we learn to read and write so we can be better than that generation. I'm saying to you today, people of Melanie, let us grasp at all the opportunities to develop our community and to develop ourselves so that we can be better people in this Guyana. A Guyana that is developing at a terrific rate around us, and we don't want to be left behind. With those words, I want to stop now and listen to you. Let us have all the issues raised here today so we can have a list and work with you to improve the life and livelihood of the people of Melanie. Thank you for listening to me.
Give a big round of applause. Thank you, Prime Minister. Thank you again for the keen insights as it relates to where the honorable ministers are, as it relates to the development of Guyana, of communities, of societies. At this point in time, we are going to open to the audience for questions. What we're going to ask is that by a raise of hand, everyone will have opportunity to put forward their concerns or any questions that they want to direct to anyone of the honorable ministers sitting at the table. So we're going to ask a hand, raise of hands, and then the mic is going to come around. In addition to that, we ask that you mention your name and you put forward your questions.
Greetings. Greetings one and all, Guyanese, head table, all honorable sovereigns of Guyana. My name is Albert Morris. I've lived in Melanie 41 years. I went through everything that Melanie went through. This afternoon is a great honor to be speaking to you people. I feel welcome. I say welcome to Melanie community. Upon that now, I would like to go ahead quickly, with the permission of the chair, to quickly read something from our newspaper, from the president who spoke in New York only the other day. Quickly. The president told the gathering, know that Guyana we want to build is a Guyana that must reflect the values that define us as a people. He then explained that these values must not be individual values, but principles that Guyanese share collectively as part of the Guyanese identity. When someone says they are Guyanese, there must be a symbol of the rule of law. There must be a symbol of democracy. There must be a symbol of ethnic harmony. There must be a symbol of what unity looks like. There must be a symbol of tolerance. This is how a Guyanese identity must be defined. We are born in a society that is multi-ethnic, a society that is multi-religious. God has given us this gift so that we can demonstrate to the world how we combine a multi-religious and multi-ethnic country to demonstrate what the true meaning of tolerance and unity is. He declared that the time has come for all Guyanese to embrace this fundamental gift and further explain when we combine the collective differences in our individual identity, we have an identity that is called Guyanese. And that is fundamentally important because that is what is going to shape our character. That is what is going to shape us as we move forward in this tremendous phase of transformation and development in our country. Thank you. Concerning Melanie, I know the people in Melanie have a lot of complaints because of the destruction of our infrastructure, our drainage, and other things. We are so glad that you are here to address it. And we will hold you, members of the cabinet, to your words that you said to us today. I personally will be looking to see what you will be doing for Melanie and all the Guyanese people. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Members of the head table, Prime Minister, Ministers. My name is Bond, James Bond. I'm a former member of Parliament, currently a businessman. Forgive me. First and foremost, let me just advise that when people are speaking, when one of us, our own residents are speaking, allow them to speak. Be patient with your own people. It is pretty rude to interrupt to say, ask the question. What is happening here is historic. This is not something that happened last year, last 5 years, last 10 years. I've been here as a board as well. I've never seen 9 ministers come to Melanie. So allow the people to speak to the ministers. These are not PPP people. I want to make that first distinction. When we see government, and I think the distinction was made by the Prime Minister, when you see members of government, please, don't look at them as PPP. You have to look at them as government. A government for the people, by the people. So you have to understand that they're not only to look after PPP people. They're here to look after people of Melanie, people of Strasbourg, people of non-profit, people of enterprise. So we have to maintain an open mind when we're dealing with government. When they come to campaign and they say they're PPP, then you have a different approach, a different relationship with them. But right now, I welcome each and every one of you. It's good to see so many friends that represent the President's College. It is East Coast Day. So let me begin. The first thing is, I hope our elders are here. This is August 1st, and I hope our elders are here. Mr. Joseph, this village is run by a co-op, the Vigalsu Co-op. Good to see Mr. Joseph here. Is Ms. Springer here? Is Mr. Ben here? Is Mr. Jacobs here? It's great to see our elders here. It's very important because the PM touched and the Attorney General touched on this particular time in our history. August 1st is coming up, and this is a time where Afro-Guyanese and Guyanese celebrate emancipation from slavery. And our elders play a very significant role. One of the problems that we face right now in these areas is one of land titling. And Mr. Joseph will expand on the difficulties he would have had in terms of land titling. Afro-Guyanese slaves as apprentices and ex-slaves bought villages. They bought villages. Sometimes the villages were placed in the names of the prominent ex-slaves right across this country. It began in Queenstown. It came to Victoria. They say Victoria is the mother of all villages, but it started in Queenstown. What is the importance about that is that after so many years, Afro-Guyanese ex-slaves, the descent of ex-slaves are facing land titling issues. So the first thing I believe we should address is titling to land. We have prime real estate in these communities here, but no title. The co-op has no title to the land. And if you understand, our economy is based on an extractive economy. That is, we take out. The gold we take out. The timber we cut. The oil we take out. Extractive industries will soon dry up. But we need regenerative industries. Our economy must be, as the Prime Minister rightly said, human resources. We must now seek to transform people's lives. And I'm not talking transformation in terms of a couple $100,000 cash grant. I'm speaking on really, really and truly empowering people. If you say you love us, then you will not be afraid to give us the money. You will not be afraid to give us the titles to the land. Because access to land, ownership of land, and access to capital are the problems that are facing these communities. People can't get off the ground because they have no access to land and no access to capital. The point you raised, Comrade Attorney General, on Plaisance is a very instructive one. Very instructive one. Plaisance, as he said, produced to give us the best cook-up. But I'm going to bring a cook-up for y'all. It's better than Plaisance cook-up. We got some cook-up in Buxton. We got some cook-up in Buxton. And in Melanie, Miss Sharon, that's the Sharon. And invited all them to come to the meeting. I ain't seen them. I'm going to go to Miss Sharon for proper cook-up. The lady right over here at the gas station cook a proper cook-up. Mixed meats. The important thing is, these folks don't have access to land AG and have no access to capital. So that is what we have to deal with. So many small businesses here, and I'm not talking about no $250,000, man. I've spoken to James Bowman asked for himself. If I want $250,000, I could probably palm a chain or sell a car so I get $250,000. I ain't got enough money, AG. You know I ain't got enough money, man. AG, you know I ain't got enough money, man. AG, I ain't got enough money. You know. I got certain things, but I ain't got enough money, AG. And that is the camaraderie we must have in Guyana. Me and the AG, I know go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The idea card, they say, AG, you come to Melanie, you don't come and see me, you don't tell me nothing. He said, I'm going to come next time. I'm not PPP, I'm PNC. But I'm prepared to work with anybody to develop my community. So they come come and be house slave. I said, yeah, I can't be house slave. What does make you? What does make you? But the point is this here. Give our people millions. Give our people millions. We want millions of dollars. We want millions, not $250,000. We got $250,000. Can't grow no business. It can't grow. The program never done in materials, and I might put 2 iron and cook one cook up, and that's it. If you really love us, like I said before, if you really love us, don't be afraid to give to us. And that's why I don't believe in trickle-down economics. I'll never believe in it. Give the people from the bottom and let we grow the economy. I started cigars and cognac with a bottle of Hennessy, a bottle of black, a bottle of cigars, and three cigars, 3 boxes of cigars. Mr. McCoy, you still open for cigars. I lying. These are my friends. I'm not friends to share with people who are my friends from the beginning. I call them my friends. Captain McGovern is my friend. The president here for that I made one mistake. He was my friend. Probably still consider me a friend. Supported my Campton Football Club. I was president of Campton Football Club. Supported me. And I made the mistake of being nasty in politics. And he called me. He said, James, we're still friends. No matter about my politics, I don't agree with the PPP. At the end of the day, we must still work with everybody to build Guyana. Guyana is everybody own. So give the people the money they deserve to grow their businesses. They want to go and work for nobody. We want a certificate for no wall. I got all my certificates and never hung up none. Yesterday Parliament gave me certificate of recognition and plaque. I said, man, because the love they gave me, I'm going to hang this up. I've never hung up no certificate. Because that means nothing to me. I don't want to work for nobody no more. I want to work for the people or I work for myself. Comrades, let us work together. I ain't going to talk about roads and I ain't going to talk about ground. Y'all know the problems. You know the problems. But what I know about, we have a lot of talent here. Fidel came to me with an idea. You want to start a block making business in Melanie. We don't have one in Melanie. I said, Fidel, I'm going to start here. But now to know y'all coming here. I'm going to start here. I'm going to let the government start here. So the first commitment I want the government of Guyana to make, 9 ministers. I see feed that Taliban come limit you, come limit you. It's a startup feeding and the other youngsters in Melanie. We've got some brilliant ideas about to grow the community. I employ about 13 people here in Melanie. From Paradise, from Dazzle, you know. And it's a joy. Let them create the wealth from the bottom. And we're going to all be good. Love you all. Love Guyana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Mr. Bond, you said PL wants to start a block making business. And you know, I can ask Minister Colin Crowell to talk about that, because we had several examples where the Ministry of Housing and Water helped young people to establish their block making business to support the housing drive. Minister Colin Crowell, you want to say something on that?
Good morning, everyone. Honorable Prime Minister, Acting President, and colleague ministers. I'll use the opportunity to respond to a number of things so you don't really raise it. Let me start with the block making. The AG alluded to the number of programs that we have here in the housing sector that we plan for the East Coast. And in fact, if I start talking about our plans for the East Coast on housing, I'll take another half hour. And the fact remains is that we are also constructing houses as part of our program. And so we have a department that has been working with certain groups and communities, and as identified by James, to help especially vulnerable areas. And so I can commit here and now that we will send back the Central Housing and Planning Authority team. I'll send them back as early as this week. All I need is you tell me the venue, and all I'm asking for, all the persons who are interested in working with us on a program, and we'll go through the modalities and how we'll set up you as a group, etc. All I need you to do is tell me now the venue. I'll send the team, and most like, well, I can't come, but I'll send the team, and we will work with you to set up that group. And also, we'll work with you to see, with collaboration with the number of contractors that we will have working to build houses here on the East Coast to ensure that we have a buy-in mechanism. So you have to tell me the venue now. That's one. Yeah, I'll use the opportunity to respond because I don't want somebody else to raise it. The AG alluded, he didn't tell me, but let me make this update. He alluded to a complaint here about the quality of the water. But he said that the water content has lead, but actually it's iron content. On the entire coastline, it's a major problem. In fact, if you think you have a problem here, Essequibo has the highest iron content for water. Recognizing that we have a major problem, and right now we only have, well, earlier this year, when we started this year, only 52%, and hope you hear me, only 52% of the coastland receives treated water. Only 52. As a result, we are committed by within the 3 years, we will move the percentage of treated water from 52% to 90% on the coastline. What that means is that it's going to cost billions of dollars.